what you're supposed to do, being you're supposed to be. I got a good show for y'all. A lot to talk about. Kareem the Dream, keep up with everything.
Get your entertainment news with Kareem on the Traffic Jam, Thursday at 4 p.m.
A new law is helping people save more money on prescription drug costs. You may also be able to save with Medicare's Extra Help program. Your premium cost can be zero and your out-of-pocket expenses are low. Who should apply? Single individuals earning less than $23,000 a year, or married couples earning less than $31,000 a year. Even if you don't think you qualify, you should still check out this program. Visit ssa.gov/extra help. Medicare costs are covered by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Women are not an homogenous group.
We face discrimination differently depending on factors such as ethnicity, age, socioeconomic status, and more.
Rainier Avenue Radio is proud to amplify women's voices.
They are the experts of their own lives, initiating conversations within their community about challenges they face, the solutions they're working on, and the opportunities they see.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 for Women's Voices on Air. We know our challenges. We are the experts of our lives.
We are master multitaskers, prioritizing our family, friends, and our faith above our own needs.
Our needs and voices are too often overlooked.
Please join us this Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. for Women's Voices on Air.
We tell our stories in our own way.
Atlantic Street Center has been serving the children, youth, and families of the Seattle-King County area since 1910. We partner with families and communities to raise healthy, successful children and youth through services including counseling, early learning, youth development, domestic violence, and education support for school-aged children. Committed to serving the African-American community, Atlantic Street Center provides services and support for all marginalized people. Learn more at AtlanticStreetCenter.org.
I'm Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not rehearsing my annual address to shareholders, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Beautiful Tuesday morning, this beautiful fall Tuesday morning. I am so excited. This is my favorite time of the year. Fall is my favorite time of the year. However, Halloween is my least favorite holiday. But hey, here we are. I'll take Halloween as long as there's fall, as long as there's crisp leaves on the ground, beautiful different color browns of trees, green, like this reddish brown color, the light brown. Oh, I just love the fall. Love boots and sweater season. It is in the morning, it's sweater weather, but right now it seems like it's still summer. Anyways, I am not a forecast person, so let's get right into it. Let's keep announcements for today. Later today, tune in to Political Conversations with Shama Sawant at 3 p.m. right here live on Rainier Avenue Radio. She is running. Is she a House candidate? She's running to be a U.S. House candidate. So tune in today at 3 o'clock live on Rainier Avenue Radio and listen to her interview. Also today at 5 p.m., we're having a conversation with the Community Police Commission on police cameras. Live today at 7 p.m., we will have Franklin versus West Seattle. Oh my gosh, when we talk about football, it's live. We'll be recording live the game tonight at 7 p.m., Franklin versus West Seattle. It just brings back so many memories when I went to school. I went to Franklin for a little bit. Actually, I went to Franklin majority of my school year, senior years when I left, but always a Quaker. Anyways, Clean Greens. Clean Greens is still handing out fresh produce at 124 21st Avenue, right outside of New Hope Baptist Church. So if you are looking for fresh, organic produce, please come in. It is very important that we are feeding our bodies healthy produce, feeding ourselves greens. It gets our body moving. So please pick you up a fresh bag. No, it is at no cost. Donations only if you want to donate. So 124 21st Avenue every Saturday and Sunday. So Saturdays is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then Sundays it's around, I think it's 12 o'clock until 2 p.m. So please come grab your fresh organic produce. The greens are so good. The kale, I don't know, it's just something different eating straight from the farm. And also you're supporting your local farmers, which is important right now at this time, with so many farmers struggling to be able to produce food. We are producing food, we are giving it out. So please come be a part of that. Give back your time, donate. We take donations. We are gearing up for our annual harvest dinner. More details to come. So I'm just so excited that we are able to give this produce out to our community. Speaking of community, there is just so much going on in this world. When I was thinking, like, what are we going to touch on this week? It's just, you know what? There's so much happening in our community over the weekend. I am just lucky. I think when we're we talked about setting our intentions last week. A long time ago, I set my intentions on who I have in my circle and who do I have around me, because that's important. Who you have around you also affects how you feel inside, right? And I was just very grateful that I have set that intentions a while ago, because I've seen some stuff circulating, some mess, some gossip circulating on social media, and I was not in the know. And I know most of the times we want to be in the know, but I was not in the know. And when I was finally in the know, it brought me to this topic, and the topic is of shame. Because shame is happening all over the world. It's happening in our government and it is happening in our community. And we need to have a conversation. And you know, I'm all about having a conversation as a coach, as a follower of Christ, as a radio host. I want to touch on, I love people. And I'm not going to say I love people at all the times, because sometimes people do stupid stuff and I have to check myself and remind myself that I too do stupid stuff. And so I can't sit here and judge and shame someone. I want to get to the know. I want to know why you do the things you do. I want to understand you. I want to help you. So let's have a conversation about shame. Shame is happening in our government. You think all of this man is able to do this stuff without shaming someone and threatening to expose someone? That is shame. That is shame. When we have our community leaders, people, you know what? I always tell people who look up to me, don't look up to me, like, don't put me on a pedestal. I say pedestal because it's a long story, but I had a neighbor who said pedestal instead of pedestal, and it just stuck with my family. So we always say pedestal. Don't put me on a pedestal, because I will fail you. Remember, we are humans. We will fail you. We will make mistakes. We will do things, but that does not mean that we have to live with it forever. I am a believer, a follower of Christ, and God is a redeemer. And so he shows you the way. He showed me the way. He has forgiven me. That does not mean I get to keep making the same mistakes, right? When you make a mistake, it is okay. You cannot change anyone or make anyone change. All you can do is love people and support people and show up for people, right? In this country, we are too judgmental, too judgmental. If somebody sins differently than us, then we got our mouths on them and we're forgetting the sins that we do. And sometimes you have to remember, when people are shaming you, are focusing on your stuff, that's because they are not focusing on the stuff that they have in their lives. So as we set our intentions on what do we want from life, what do we want to contribute to this life, what do we want to contribute to our community, when we're thinking about ourselves, our families, our government, the people out here, what can we do to help people? Because shaming them is not going to work. So if you are someone or you know someone that is dealing with shame, let's talk about it. Let's talk about supporting someone who is in shame, since that seems to be the main topic that we need to talk about right now. There's a difference between shaming someone and holding someone accountable. Shaming someone and holding someone accountable. It all has to do with your intent, your tone, and what is the outcome that you want. So if you love someone and someone is hurting and doing things that you don't agree with, and that's harming themselves, harming others, or harming their community, and you love them, shaming them is publicly exposing them. Shaming them is threatening to expose whatever they have going on. Shaming them is judging them and making them feel bad about what they did. But if you love someone and they are doing something that is detrimental to them and their community, you need to pull them aside. Pull them aside in love and hold them accountable and hold them up. Also, watching your tone. What is it what is it the person's doing that's bothering you? What is it? How is it harming your community? How is it harming you? How is it harming others? How is it harming themselves? Get to the root of what your issue is with what's going on and how you can help them. Remember, posting and chit-chatting and gossiping to everybody is gossip, and it is shameful, and does not help. Does not help the situation. It makes it worse, because when we continue to talk crazy to people and judge them and shut them down and make them feel bad, and we're just beating them with our words. Remember, we said words are powerful. Words mean something. Words can start a war. Words can create love. Words can build a community. So when we are using our words to the people and we're pulling them aside to hold them accountable, let's talk to the person and let's focus on the person versus the action, because the person is not the action. Someone who's dealing with shame right now, there's sometimes that I battle with stuff that I've done before. I have to remember that mistake does not make me. It does not make me. That is not the person I am. That is a mistake I made because of a situation I was in. And those are things that we have to get to the root of, regardless of what we think. We have to realize that we are not. I didn't create or make anybody, so I can't force anyone to do anything that they don't want to do, right? So we have to relinquish control. We have to get out of our ego. We have to sit with the person and we need to talk to them and get to the root of what is happening to the person. And this is if you want to take this on. You want to get to the root and you want to talk to the person and offer resources. And remember when I said, for all have sinned, fall short of the glory of God. We all are sinners. We all are doing things have done things that we should not have done. So then who gives us the right to go and shame someone for doing something? So getting with your person and talking to them, getting to the root of what's happening to them, offering them resources, not running to social media to make posts and talk about them. We in our community, we need to to lift each other up. And this isn't just happening in the Black community. That's one thing that I don't agree with when people are saying the Black community. No, this is all over America. And I love that the Black community, we hold ourselves to a high standard, but I think that the tone can be different. We can hold ourselves to a standard, but our tone should be different, because at the end, we are doing no different than any other community when we are loudly talking about our community instead of showing up and talking and having a conversation on how we can stop shaming people, how when somebody falls, instead of laughing at them, we go and we pick them up. And a lot of this has to do with the culture of this world. The culture of this world is power, control, shame, and superiority, right? And we do that here in our community. We do that in our government. And that's not getting us anywhere. So for those of you who are dealing with shame and you're wondering, how can I redeem myself? How can I be a redeemer? There's one thing that you're going to have to understand is that sometimes you're not going to be able to redeem yourself with someone who you harmed. There's sometimes you're not going to be able to redeem yourself with that person or that thing, but you're going to have to work on redeeming yourself within you. Because at the end of the day, we are our own person. We have to live with ourselves for the rest of our lives. We are with ourselves 24 hours a day. And really, at the end of the day, it's what we think and what God helps us with in things that matters. So you have to understand that sometimes you're not going to be able to redeem yourself with people, and you have to be okay with that. That does not mean that you do not have to be accountable. That does not mean you do not have to make an amends and apologize. That doesn't mean you don't have to make it right. But what it does mean is when you make a mistake or when you do things that you're not proud of, like I've done something that I'm not proud of, but I never let anyone ever hold any of my mistakes over my head, because at the end of the day, I'm human. I am an open book, because with the mistakes I made, if I can help one person not make that same mistake, I'm going to talk about it in due timing. I was watching this church. I was watching church online. And one of the things that this guy said, and I don't want to mess up, I'm not quoting him verbatim, but it was, I'm learning that as I speak my truth, you have to learn who you can and who you can't speak your truth to. Speak your truth to people who has earned your trust. Speak with people who has earned your trust. But speaking with people and talking to people and helping people is one way to help yourself not only learn from your mistake, but not repeat your mistake, redeem yourself for your mistake, and then help others. And it takes away the shame. It takes away the shame, because at the end of the day, again, we are all humans out here living this life for the very first time. Yes, we've been on this earth for however many years we are, but we're still living this life for the very first time. This is my very first time ever being a 43-year-old Black woman in America. I am living this life for the first time, right? So we have to remember to get with ourselves. When we make a mistake, regardless of the level of shame it is, I have to work on myself with forgiveness all the time. Because remember when I spoke last week about the Green River Killer, that's been heavy on my mind. And it's been heavy on my mind because this man made a huge mistake. And humanly speaking, we're looking like, how can God redeem something like this? This man's literally killed these women in cold blood. But according to scripture, he could be redeemed. And that's none of our business. That is between him and God. All we can do as humans is love, support, and show up for people, because they are also humans making a mistake. And it's all about getting to the root of why someone has done something that they've done. I remember working at this organization where we were supposed to be helping people, and everybody kept making it seem like people were choosing to take drugs. And it's like, yeah, taking drugs is a choice, but addiction is not. Sometimes people are just trying to erase something, numb something. And until they get to the root of what they're trying to erase, what they're trying to numb, they're going to continue to make those mistakes. So getting to the root of what is the reason why you made the choice that you made, being accountable for yourself and your actions, and not apologize. Like a lot of times people apologize. I'm sorry if I made you feel. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you. And I have to learn that myself, because we don't intend to do things when we're doing stuff. We don't intend to hurt people. A lot, majority of us don't intend to hurt people, but sometimes people get hurt with the decisions we make. And so we have to be accountable. And sometimes people think being accountable is not letting them move forward. But until you're accountable for your actions and you speak out for your actions that you've done to someone, that person is going to feel the way that they feel, right? So you have to be accountable for your actions. Get somewhere with yourself and get to the root. Get a therapist and watch who you have around you, because who you have around you matters. If you don't have people around you that are supportive, if you don't have people around you that encourage you and give you resources, it's going to be hard for you to move forward. So make sure you are around the right people that is going to help you, give you resources. Get a therapist. What else can we do? Relinquish control. When we do stuff, we want to control everyone's narrative. We want to control how they perceive it, what we did. We want to let go of control and let it be what it is and sit in those feelings again and be accountable. Practice self-compassion. Now, that is hard for a lot of us. Practicing self-compassion. Sometimes we get ourselves into situations not because we did something wrong, but because we surrounded ourselves with the wrong person or people, right? So whether you surround yourself with the wrong people, person, or it was just you being a human and doing stupid human things, you have to practice self-compassion. Like, why did I do that? What could I have done differently? And let's move forward. Let's make a plan to move forward. And be okay with, I am a human, I make mistakes. No, I don't get to just go out there and just be mean and do things and then just be redeemed all the time. No, that's not how forgiveness works. That's not how God works. It's like you make a mistake, you're forgiving, but if you keep going back and making that mistake, now you're making a choice. You get what I'm saying? There's a difference between a mistake and making a choice. And when we want to shame people, I want to touch back on people who are on drugs. People are numbing themselves. Do you understand that some people are numbing themselves because they were harmed, they were abused mentally, sexually, physically, and they just want to forget the abuse? Many are self-medicating because people shame them for who they love or the color of their skin or what social status they are, if they're poor or if they're rich. There are so many reasons why people make stupid mistakes, and a lot of it is because of shame. And we need to get to the root of shame. You cannot shame yourself or anyone into making a change. When you ignore the problem and when you beat somebody up with their mistakes, it keeps going. It doesn't change. How many people do you know in your life that you have shamed for something and they just stop doing it? No one. Now they go into hiding. They isolate themselves from people. They go into a depression. And words matter. And I want to speak this. When you're shaming someone, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know if this person is on their final leg and something you said is going to make them want to go harm themselves or harm others. So we need to be mindful with the words we're speaking and how we're talking to people who made mistakes and need someone to show up for them. Removing ego. Ego is deadly. Yes, we need to be aware of who we are and what we possess, but we need to remove ego. People get into positions and get in certain situations and they think they are above people checking them. They think they're above people who has made a mistake. They think they're better than people. But it's like, no, when someone you love has made a mistake, you need to remove your ego from it and have empathy for where that person may be coming from and help them. Again, if you are helping someone, provide resources. Like I always tell you guys, I can give you all this stuff and I can talk and people come to me and ask me for advice, but I'm always saying, go back, pray on what I speak on, ask God, is this the message he wants to hear from you? And research. Do your own research on how you can support someone, how you can show up with somebody. But we have to, as people in our community, we got to move forward. A lot of the times we keep people stuck in a place, and we keep ourselves stuck in a place with shame. Shame keeps you stuck. Shame makes you isolate. Shame makes you want to hurt yourself, sometimes want to hurt others because you want someone to feel the same pain as you felt. So your words, and I know I keep saying this, but it really is important that you understand how much your words matter when you're speaking to people and when you're speaking to yourself. So when you make a mistake, it is okay to make mistakes. We are human. A lot of us want to live to be 80s and our 90s, and there's going to be a lot of times where we do stupid stuff, say stupid stuff, and we have to remember that self-compassion. Also, when we talk about forgiveness, forgiveness is one of the hardest things, and it's always coming up in topic. I always see on social media where people are like, I'm not going to forgive. I don't care about forgiveness. Forgiveness, I wish bad on my enemies. But if you really take a look around, one, I had to let go of my ego and remember, God don't just love me. God loves everybody. Even the people who are harming me, God loves them and he wants them to do better, right? He wants them to do better. And so I have to remember this and remember to take my ego out of this, that everyone deserves forgiveness. If we're talking spiritually speaking, and not even that, how do you want forgiveness for mistakes that you've made? How do you want people to forget things that you've done, but then you go and you hold someone else to a high standard and you don't want to forgive them and you want to hold them to a mistake? That is not how life works. And in scripture it says, God, you have to forgive others. You have to practice forgiveness for God to be able to forgive you. That is biblically speaking. So when we're talking about our community, wow, that went by fast. Time is up. Guys, remember to love on yourselves, practice self-compassion for yourself and others. Stop shaming people. Get with them and talk to them in love and give them resources. All right. Until next time. See you later.